Okay, so as you can see, I got myself the Euphoria expansion. I was not planning on getting this so soon, but when people started saying how they just made the order and they were getting it like the next day, I was like, oh, I gotta get it. Not realizing that they were champions, and I was not part of the champion program. Um, Nevertheless, this is probably one of the uh, probably one of the better purchases I've made in a while. So I mean, it's for one of the first games I ever got in my collection. Before I hit like 10 games. Excuse me. And Euphoria is actually like one of my most played games of all time. So uh, forgive the shaky hand. Hopefully, my image stabilization on my phone will take care of most of it. I've misplaced my tripod, and so as you can see, I've already loosened the box top. I just received it today after my postman has been holding my package hostage. Pardon. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get started with unboxing. I've loosened the top, but I just, taking out the shrink. I have not actually looked in the box yet. Just loosened the top because, I see people struggling doing one-handed unboxings, and now I'm doing one. So, here we go. So as you can see, if you're not familiar, or if you're vaguely familiar, Euphoria Ignorance is Bliss is the latest and possibly the only expansion to the most wonderful game Euphoria, a worker placement game where dice are your workers, and it's like it was the first. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's the first one I've experienced where it's a worker placement that doesn't lock you out of anything except for maybe the market building. I won't go over the rules for the game. There are plenty of videos for that. Rado, if you check out Rado's original video, well, I don't think he made an updated one, but if you check out his video, that's the one that sold me, or that piqued my interest on the game. I had met someone who, when I was just getting started with um, hosting my own meetup groups, he had brought a copy of Euphoria. We never got to play it, but I asked him if it was a good game because when I first saw the Kickstarter, I was a bit confused and I didn't really get it. And I saw Rado's review of it, and I was like, "Wow, that's really brilliant." And then again, I asked this person. He said, "It's a great game if you have a good teacher." And he was a math teacher. Again, he never taught. I never got a chance to play that game because we got caught up playing something else. I think it was Seasons. But it always intrigued me, and I picked up the first edition or first run copy off of Amazon. And then a couple years ago, someone was selling a Kickstarter version who didn't understand the value of it, or was not familiar with the following of Stonemaier Games. His Jamie and sorry, I forget the other guy's name because he's kind of like the silent partner, but the other half of Stonemaier Games. He didn't understand the reputation of starting out in Kickstarter and putting out very high quality games, thoughtful, thought provoking. Anyway, so I can go on and on. Here I go, unboxing. So here's the top. Oh, and this is a really small box. Really small. I had seen photos on the Facebook page, and I really didn't really grasp how small the box was until I got it today. So here's the updated rulebook. Well, the rules for this expansion anyway. The Automa rules, which is what I'm excited about because, of course, it's no fun playing Euphoria by yourself because it's a multiplayer game. Stickers for the mine tracks. I probably will just remember the setup, commit to memory, much like the those little chits for the influence tracker that I never use. I'll probably just remember how the mine goes, how this for setup. I'm one of those nuts who don't like to stick on. I mean, if it were a legacy game, yeah, I'm all about sticking the stickers on the board and stuff. But because I went and I sold my retail copy, by the way, when I picked up the Kickstarter copy from this person who was selling it. It had been opened. So I think he just checked to see if all the components were there, but everything was bagged up still, and anything that needed to be punched still had to be punched, and all that. So, and I had the original Game Craze trays insert. So, transferred everything over. Now I have everything. But yeah, I'm one of those people who don't like to stick corrections on their original stuff. If I don't have to. So yeah, I'll just remember. Maybe I'll transfer. I mean, if these were, I wouldn't mind extra chits and stuff. I would just lay these on top, like maybe stick these on cardstock, and then lay these on top of the board. But yeah, I probably will not use those stickers. These market boards, or these player boards, are a little thin. I'll probably end up laminating these, or get my friend to do it, because I have not had the most success with my lamination doohickey. So there's one for each player, possible player, so there's 6 of them. That's another thing I really love about this game, is you can play up to 6 people. And I played 6 people in as quick as 45 minutes, so it doesn't have to be a super long game. Here's some more board setup card reference, looks like. It's reference. It's a card. I'll probably laminate this, or I think I have a sleeve that fits this. Here's a market board, or not the market board, the what's it called, artifact board, which is a kind of like an extension of the market. And I will definitely be moving on to playing with the updated stuff. The game when I first got this game, the Renaissance, quote unquote Renaissance, hadn't happened yet, and so like the big boom that happened like 3 years ago had not happened yet. So even though it's one of my most played games, especially now, it doesn't hit the table as often as we'd like, because too many people in my circle of friends are getting new games all the time. There's one person who's always getting stuff from Kickstarter. I just backed a couple things, but those won't be out till... I've really toned down my backing. Part of it is finances, but most of it is... Some of my best games don't get played, so... Anyway, so I'll pause, or I'll just focus on these the new market cards for a bit. For people who want to see, I'm sure you can find images on the internet of these markets if you want to find them. And it's nice that it's nice that it has Jamie's blessing on the design, thanks to the guys who designed this expansion. Because the market tiles are the same thickness as the original ones, I think. And even if they're not, even if they're like a little thinner, you're not gonna notice, because you have to play these. Oops, did I go too fast? You can have to choose, either use the expanded tiles or the old ones. And since the original ones I have are in fact the original ones, there has been some errata since then. And I'm not gonna mark up. I'm not gonna mark up or stick labels on whatever's been changed. I will just have to remember them. But as far as I know, I'm sure there's typos by now being discovered. But this is what I will be playing with, and they're balanced. They should be balanced. We have extra baggies, of course, just like the original Euphoria, which I'm actually still using. It came with so many extra baggies, I can use them for other games. We got the giant commodities and resources for the 5. I like the multiplier tracks. There have been times when I played like 2 players, and I guess that won't be an issue now that they have the Automa rules. But there have been times when I played 2 player. Like I remember one game I was just showing somebody, and this guy got the cannibal dude, where you can trade workers for food, quote unquote trade, and he just hoarded all the fruit, all the oranges, and then we ran out, and he didn't spend them all, and then I couldn't get any because I didn't have an alternate kit. So with those multiplier things, he wouldn't have been able to hoard all the food tokens. And I know I had them. I was showing him the game, and I actually didn't think he was going to hog them, and I just didn't want to have to pull it out of the box because we were on a small table. Anyway, so we have these. We now have these large. They're like 3 times the size, 3 or 4 times the size of the original ones. And they'll count as 5s or 10s or whatever multiplier you choose to use. I think 5 would be convenient. And then of course we have the recruit cards. Brand new recruits. And let's see. There. I guess that little icon there tells you what if this is the expansion. I guess if you're blindfolded, you can remain ignorant and blissful. So yeah, so there's these cards, recruits, and I don't think I bothered sleeving these because they're such high grade linen finish. I may have. I know I didn't have to sleeve the artifacts because they're plastic. So no need to do that. Probably don't need to do these either. I mean, they don't really get handled too much. So, and since I've only played my Kickstarter edition a few times, the cards are still pretty clean as opposed to the copy I had that got sold. You could tell like it's been handled. The stack of cards is a little dirty from handling. Anyway, so that is Ignorance is Bliss. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I mean, it's great. There are reprints of Kickstarters where they're like, whoops, the cards are like different colored backs and stuff from the originals. Why don't you guys wait a couple months so we can reprint new ones and replace them? And where I mean, it doesn't really matter for these, I guess, especially if you have to replace the entire deck for gameplay. But yeah, it's not. Everything looks like it's part of the original game. I mean, as it should. And I really appreciate the time and effort that it took to design and playtest this expansion, and the attention to detail on Stonemaier Games' part to make sure everything was reproduced exactly as the old game was, so that we can all enjoy a seamless update to surely a modern classic to board gaming. It is in my eyes anyway. So, and I can't wait to show it to my friends, and I can't wait to try out the Automa rules and enjoy this game without having to wonder if I'm going to be able to whip it out. Hoping that no one has gotten a new game recently. Because the new game usually takes precedence. So yeah, so we have Doug the Builder. And we have the Briber. So I'm not going to unwrap the decks because, again, I'm one-handed. And I would probably if I had my tripod. But in the interest of not having a completely shaky experience, I will just end it now. And I hope... here, I'll pack everything back in the box. And that way... y'all can take another gander at the components and the tiles. So I'll be transferring to the box soon. Okay. So excited. Oh, new stuff to punch out. Exciting. And you know what's even better is Jamie and some of our games have actually graduated from Kickstarter. And I mean, that's not to say that he will never return to Kickstarter, because I don't know what his plans are. But the last few games that have come out, Wingspan, for example, I'm still curious about the game. I don't think it's a theme my friends and I can really get excited about. I've watched gameplay videos and perused the rules and things, and it's a beautifully productive game, but it's not a theme that we get excited about. I would love to play it, but I don't see myself purchasing it. And I'm kind of out of the meetup gaming thing, so I actually there would be definitely people in my old group I used to attend and host for. I mean, I still could, but I probably won't. Anyway, I'm sure there are 3 or 4 people that I know from the group that have Wingspan already, and if I really wanted to play it, I could probably just play that copy. So, anyway, thanks again. Ignorance is bliss, and hope everyone out there is really having a lot of fun with it, and I know I will too. See you guys.